Hello gamers, I'm Nkaziel, and in this video I will be talking about a sandbox MMORPG that seemingly came out of nowhere and will be having at least a closed beta test this year. I'm talking about Quinfall. I will try to provide you with the information on what the developers promised to deliver, and we will also discuss some of the obvious concerns that get raised with this project. Before I start, I would like to remind you to hit that like and subscribe button if you find this video interesting and want to support the channel. Alright, so what is Quinfall? It is a sandbox MMORPG set in a fantasy medieval world, trying to create a living, breathing world that feels as close as possible to what it would feel to be actually there in the world. There are quite a few impressive elements about the world of Quinfall, but the one that will stand out the most is the sheer size of it. It will be set in a 2016 square kilometer map, which is absolutely massive. The world they create will also feature different biomes, weather conditions and 4 seasons. Weather conditions such as excessive droughts will deplete water from certain areas and will create new explorable areas. On the other hand, excessive rain will fill areas with water and change the layout of the map. Similar to this, the seasons will also affect the world. For example, in winter there will be less creatures and less plants, and some resources will appear only if certain conditions are met. The visuals, as you can see from the footage running in the background, are pretty impressive, and the character creator seems to be equally impressive, allowing extensive customization. From the sound of it, it will be even better than what Black Desert Online has to offer, allowing you to change every aspect of your character to your liking. Alright, let's talk about content. But before we move forward with this topic, I have to make you aware that there will be open world PvP. It's been confirmed on Discord that there will be PvE servers for those that do not wish to participate in PvP. I need to make a note that the server system seems to be similar to BDO, so characters are independent of servers, and you will be logging into a certain server for the session, rather than having to permanently pick a server, which in my opinion is how every MMORPG should operate. Locking people into specific servers limits the player base for no good reason. Alright, so back to the topic. The game will have a knowledge system that will drive the player base to progress and explore. As you discover more and more of the secrets of the world, it will lead to uncovering secret areas, quests, puzzles and dungeons. Learning more about the world will also seemingly give you access to a lot of things, including lost technologies. And we see in the trailer some kind of blimp, a mechanical golem and even a train. Professions will also be present in the game. There will be a total of 11 professions and they will range from treasure hunting to animal husbandry. It sounds like they will provide players with an entirely different way to play the game if they enjoy doing so. On top of activities that you will be able to do on land, there also will be naval content, including naval combat and sea monster hunting, as well as some underwater content. A cool feature that I almost forgot to mention is that besides the NPCs being blacksmiths and having various shops, players will also be able to open their own taverns and have their own shops that other players can visit and even work in. There will also be various minigames that players will be able to fill their time with, and we even see some footage of a minigame that looks similar to something like Yu-Gi-Oh!, which personally I think would be pretty cool to have in an MMORPG. I always enjoy side activities like this, and I feel like they give the world an extra layer of depth that I personally believe MMORPGs desperately need. As far as PvP content goes, on top of the open world PvP, there will be territory wars over cities, and guilds will be able to obtain guild islands that they will need to upgrade and defend. One of the most important aspects that I have yet to touch on is combat. The game will feature full action combat, and from the footage we have seen, it looks similar to New World combat, where you'll have the ability to dodge and block attacks. The animations look pretty good, though they seem a bit slow. That might be just the footage being slowed down to allow us to fully appreciate them. There is not much information about abilities and passives and stuff like that, But we do know there will be 9 weapons at release, and it seems they will be using a classless system that again seems similar to New World. Another system that I feel it deserves mentioning is the open world housing. There will be areas where players can build and decorate their own houses. Not much is known about how you will be able to obtain this plot of land, but I think it's safe to assume that it will be something similar to Arcade. The last element of the game that I would like to talk about is monetization. From what has been said on Discord, it will be buy to play, but there are no news about the existence of a cash shop. I believe it is safe to assume that the game will have a cash shop, however the content of the cash shop is still uncertain. They have mentioned, however, that there will be no pay to win. It is entirely possible that there will be pay for convenience. To be honest, all this sounds absolutely amazing. But in the MMO genre, we have been promised too much and too little is often delivered. So, people are right to be skeptical about any new project, especially one that promises to deliver so many aspects that a good part of the community desires. So, we will explore some of the concerns people have raised and their relevance. I have spent some time asking around to be able to form a better opinion of the situation and maybe put at least some concerns to rest. I have to warn people that some of the information that I'll be giving you is what I heard behind the scenes, so take it with a grain of salt. Let's start with a little bit of history so we can better understand the situation. The company developing this game is called Dwarak Technologies, and I know I'm probably mispronouncing this. The company was started by just one person with a dream of making an MMORPG. So with hard work and determination he started working on a concept, creating an MMORPG called Kyra Online for a small Turkish audience. In this project they tested technologies and AI systems. From what I understood, this was well received, and from a one-man team, he grown his company to over 50 people and secured funding for the upcoming MMORPG Quinfall. What this means for us as players of the game is that we don't need to fund this game, we don't need to worry about the developers poorly managing public funding, as it happens with most Kickstarter MMORPGs, and nobody is asking money from the community. This is how all MMORPGs should actually be done. First provide the players with a game, and only after ask for money. Sometimes in 2023 there will be a few free-to-play closed beta testing phases, where players can test the game and decide if it's worth their time and money. This does not automatically mean that it will be massively successful, but it does show that developers are confident in their product and don't mind letting people test the product before they spend money on it. The first concern that I've seen people raise was that the project uses some store-bought assets. This honestly is a pretty irrelevant concern, as the general audience will not care or notice if the grass scene in this game will be the same as the grass scene in another Unity game. And doing so will cut the development cost and time of the project massively. Being able to deliver a product in a timely fashion without wasting time and money on irrelevant things. It's also way more common practice in the gaming industry than people realize. This would, however, be a massive problem if they were asking the community for funding, because in that case, store-bought assets would have been flipped to produce something that looked amazing just to generate quick income. But since that is not the case, it should not be a problem for people that understand this. The massively multiplayer aspect is another concern that I have seen raised, and I share this concern at this point in time, as the game world does look a bit barren in the trailer. There is also one scene where it displays the MMO aspect of the game, a boss battle, and to me it looks scripted. The massively multiplayer aspect is based on the netcode and is one of the hardest things to get right, and it is very time consuming from a development point of view. I cannot say in what state it is in Quinfall, I can only raise it as a concern at this time, and I am sure in the following months we will have more information regarding this. There was also a concern regarding NFTs and cryptocurrency, as the word meta was used somewhere on the description of the game. This was just a communication error. They were using the term meta in the sense of sandbox. and they have confirmed that the project is in no way related to NFTs or cryptocurrency. The last concern that I want to talk about is the development time for Quinfall, which is around 2 years so far, and within this year they believe it will be in a decent state to start public testing, which in general for MMORPGs is a very short time. MMORPGs are very complex games that take a lot of time and effort to build, so having such a short development time raises some questions. But again, we go back to the fact that they ask for nothing from the player base other than your interest, so there is nothing to lose by keeping an eye out for this title. In conclusion, I believe Quinfall looks like an amazing MMORPG with a lot of really cool features that a lot of gamers are interested in. They promise a lot and ask for nothing in return, so I believe this is a title worth keeping an eye out for. I also highly advise not to get too hyped about it before we get a playable product that we can test and see if they deliver on the massive amount of promises they made, and only then decide if it's worth getting hyped up and if it's worth your time and money. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, please consider helping the channel out by leaving a like and subscribing. See you in the next one, gamers.